Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to the breakdown. It's Sunday evening. We've had time to decompress. We've taken it all in. And now it's time. We've actually rewatched it as well. Somehow I found the time to rewatch it earlier. It was less stressful watching it second time round. But then it was also equally horrifying at times. But it's all the same. So we're going to talk about it. Just giving the show a retweet. Make sure you do the same. Retweet it on Twitter. Share it everywhere. All that good stuff. Really helps us out. And of course, don't forget to leave comments on the video afterwards on YouTube, because it helps us with the old algorithm and all that stuff. But there we go. What a game. Like, let's be fair. What a game. Like, if you were a neutral, would have been all right, wouldn't it? Because, you're just enjoying it. It's less enjoyable when you're emotionally invested, and less enjoyable when you're like living and breathing every single moment. But when you come out on top and you find the fight, you find the balls, you find the bit of quality needed to get out on top in these types of games, then it is satisfying and you walk away happy. But I used the word horrifying a little bit ago. Like, there was some moments in that game which were horrifying. But there was also some moments in that game where I was just had a big old smile on my face, because, where'd you start? Like, just start with the positives, the negatives, the generational talents. Oh, there's no such thing as neutrals here, mate. You're right there, living and breathing it all, and it was painful. And look, sometimes, right, you've got to take your hats off. I thought Leyton Orient were good. I thought the goal from Dominic Ballard was absolutely exquisite. It was right behind that, and it starts right outside the post, and it's a great finish. But can we get out quicker to him? Like, we were so slow to react when the ball goes to him. Like, we gave him so much time to line it up. Can you do that quicker? I think so, yeah. Like, I really do. I've been doing a bit of digging. Dig. And from 2 or 3 absolutely exquisite sources inside and outside the club, I've been finding out what the score is with Alex Robertson. So I'm going to go into that in detail in a bit. That's going to be fascinating. Well, I don't know. Some people might find it fascinating. I find it fascinating because he's a very good footballer. And I think he's a footballer that we could have used at times, particularly in this ropey spell where we've had a couple of home losses. Feels like a player of his quality could really have benefited us. But, you've got to say, like, going back to the game, without this keeper, I don't think we win that game. Like, but then, right, as good as I thought Leyton Orient were good, and we played into their hands a little bit. And interestingly, it seems like in the first half, we didn't follow out the manager's instructions from what he was saying in the press conference after the game. But, I know a few of the boys, and we all spoke to a couple of Leyton Orient people. I spoke to someone who works at Leyton Orient, and they all kind of said the same thing. If we try and play football the way we normally play, playing out from the back and playing through the thirds, it will play right into their hands, and they will like that. And it seems from what Brian Barry Murphy said, he wanted us to be a little bit more direct and play further up the field. And we didn't really do that in the first half, maybe once or twice. But it's one of those games where, like, proper stressful, isn't it? Like, especially if you're an old man like me, like, the blood pressure and the rest of it is painful. But when Yusuf scored, and I looked over, my son was like, he doesn't really celebrate goals. He sort of celebrates them, but he doesn't get up. He was off his feet, absolutely fucking loving it. And then when Robbo puts in the 4th, he's just going nuts. Like, and I said to Matt last night, like, he showed me a video of his son, who's a lot younger, with his top off, like, dancing away. And I was just like, that's it now. They're ingrained in it. They are, like, that's fully ingrained in them. And my boy, he's pinched one of my Stone Island hoodies, and he's fully ingrained in the terrace thing now, in the football, and going. We haven't missed a game this season together, and like, I love him. It's my time with him. My missus comes a lot of the time as well. Like, we have a good time. It's interesting. Like, some people don't like taking their missus to the football and that, and I get that. It's fine. But long time ago, before we met and got together, a long time ago, 20 years or whatever. Like, oh, I'm so old. She used to go with her old man week in, week out. Like when she was like a teenage girl, she used to go with her old man and have a pint and go to the football with all his mates. I used to go with my mates, and then we met and then we went together. And that's just always the way it is. Like, she's all about it, but she doesn't go as much this time. She's just starting to get back into it and that. But my boy is proper ingrained in it, which is great. That's what it's about, isn't it? That's what it's about. Loving it. And the limbs is funny. Like, he brought his girlfriend with us the last couple of games, and I may or may not have lost my rag with the referee at one point when Yusuf Salish was had like in a headlock with both his arms pinned behind his back, and the referee and the linesman like a yard away, and they thought it was a fair thing. And I shouted, and she just put her hand on me and was like, "Calm down, Simon. It's okay." It was like, and then when we scored, we were all going nuts. She was more worried about like, where's my walking stick gone, and just falling on the floor and all this. But this is the life we lead. Look, there was a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of bad stuff. I want to pick out some of the negatives first, okay? Like, I said this a few weeks ago, and I kind of stand by it. When we were like unbeaten and we weren't conceding goals and we looked so confident and solid at the back, I really like encouraged or whatever. I don't know what the word is. Like, I really was like, don't change the centre backs just for the sake of it. I get we got to rotate now and again, keep people fresh and give people minutes and stuff like that. But one of the traps that we've fallen into the last couple of years was rotating the centre backs and it becoming an issue. Dylan Lawler, Will Fish, Bagan, Kipaki, was a 4 with Trott behind, was working really well. And I can't help but feel that some of the issues that we've had has come from the chopping and changing at the back, because it just disrupts the continuity and it disrupts the chemistry between them. And like, I think people need to remember, right? Gabriel Osho was very good in his last appearance, but he definitely has a mistake in him, because the type of player he is, like, he likes to drop his shoulder and take the ball out of defense. And if you get caught, like we saw in the second half, you end up in trouble, right? But he's clearly got pace and he's got the skill set. He's a good footballer. But did we need to drop Will Fish? I'm not so sure. Like, Dylan Lawler for me is like irreplaceable now. He's got to play every single game that he's available, because defensively he's a leader. He's good on the ball. He ticks all the boxes. I'm not saying he's perfect, that he hasn't got things to learn, but he is the centre back now, and it's who plays with him. In my opinion, it should be Will Fish at the moment. Gabriel Osho yesterday had an all-time howler of an appearance, individual appearance. It was bad. And to the point where by the end of the game, like last 10 minutes, every time he got the ball, the whole sort of stadium was like, because they didn't know what he was going to do. But you know what I will say, right, is this. He showed a lot of mental strength yesterday, Gabriel Osho did. He made the mistake for the goal at the start, which lets them into the game. He nearly did it again in the second half, and he had a few moments throughout. But he stuck with it. The manager stuck with him. He stuck with it. And in the end, last sort of 10 minutes, he makes a couple of really good last-ditch blocks, throwing his body on the line. And a weaker mentality or a weaker mental frame of mind, he could have gone to pieces and just, fallen apart. And he didn't do that. I also like, and people won't like this, I don't think, but I like that he plays football with a smile on his face. I like that he understands football is a short career. He understands that he's in a privileged position, and I like that he plays with a smile on his face. Now, doesn't excuse the mistakes he made. Everyone has a bad day, and he wasn't the only one. Joe Bagan, who has been arguably our player of the season so far this year, in possession in his own half, gave the ball away a lot, and I thought he was quite poor. Like, he still contributed defensively though, and he still in the second half linked up really well to when we're chasing the game. He was very, very good at linking up with Willock and getting in behind, and he did a lot of good stuff going forward. So again, the mentality to make some mistakes, but be able to stick at it and keep going and going. Love that. And I love the fact that Joe Bagan finished the game really strongly after a difficult evening, because that's what it's about. Is you don't just fold under pressure. You don't give up under pressure. You don't give up when things go wrong. You stick at it and you stick at it and you stick at it. Ronan Kipakio had a difficult first half. Don't think he was bad, but he had a difficult first half against a decent winger under a bit of physical pressure. Gave the ball away a couple of times. Second half, I would argue that he was the most vital player to our comeback. He was excellent. And Amari Kellyman's sort of found his sharpness and his fitness and his directness allowed Ronan Kipakio to be so influential. And if you look at the celebration when Robinson scores, as Kipakio comes over, they all go to him because they all know. And I think that's really good, because that speaks more to the mentality. Now, I thought in the first half, particularly first 15, 20 minutes, I thought some of the younger players, they struggled with the pressure a little bit, the nerves, because of the occasion, because we'd lost 2 home games in a row. And I felt like some of them were a bit tense. And I said to my boy, like, Isaac needs to relax. Like, he had just overhit a couple of passes or a couple of heavy touches. Nothing too, disastrous, but just looked a bit tense, like the pressure. And then obviously they give the ball away, the crowd groans. And then we never quite found our rhythm. And for me, I thought the passing was a bit sloppy and just wasn't what we've become accustomed to under Brian Barry Murphy. Now, I think nerves and pressure play a part. I also think, no, I haven't talked about Alex Robertson yet, mate. So sorry. Still just got bad chest. Can't get rid of it. It was like the sloppy and just couldn't get going with the passing. And, we've all become accustomed to a high level of passing and movement. And for me, that's going to come with young players. But what I'd like to see is helping some of these players. Like Joe Bagan, we seem to be expecting him to play every minute of every game. So I'm assuming he's going to play about 60 games this year. Of course, he's mentally tired. Of course, he's fatigued. We have to find a way to rest him. Same with Ruben. Ruben's looking leggy. He's still doing the sprints and he's doing all the pressing and then the things that he needs to do. But he's looking leggy. He actually looked a bit more dangerous, although I thought he did all right in his usual position. When he was a bit deeper and he wasn't doing as much running, he started to become a bit more influential on the ball and played some good passing and moving and stuff like that. Chris Willock yesterday was really, really clever with his fullback, because the referee and the linesman and the fourth official, they were not going to do anything about it. And he cooked up a real clever way of dealing with it, in that so basically, if you didn't see it, he was right in front of me, which is why I saw it. Every time Willock is anywhere near him, so if we had a throw from our half, they had a throw, whatever, like every time they were near each other, the fullback was just giving it like a forearm in the back, pushing the back constantly. And I mean, like, not just like every now and again, shots moving away from you. He was just like that, winding him up, little jabs in the back and all the rest of it. And you could see Chris Willock's asking the fourth official, like, why aren't you bringing this to the ref's attention? Saying to the ref, the linesman, because they're so close and they're just ignoring it. So what he did is, eventually he reacts. But he doesn't react in a way that's going to get him sent off. No, he doesn't throw a punch, doesn't grab him by the face, doesn't put his head in. He just pushes him in the chest, pushes him away in like handbags, yeah? So the game stops, yellow card for both men. That fullback now cannot make a challenge. And then about 2 minutes later, he gets the ball, he beats him, buys the foul. The guy can't make another challenge. Now, the guy got really frustrated then because he couldn't do what he was doing. He couldn't try and physically intimidate him and put him off. And then Bagan and Willock took him apart in the final sort of part of that game. And I thought it was really clever by Chris Willock, because Chris Willock could have got frustrated, could have gone into his shell, but he didn't. He stood up to it and he was like, right, if you're not going to protect me, if the refs and the linesmen are not going to do nothing about it, I'll sort it out myself. And yeah, he stuck it through his legs right at the end of that battle. And it's like, that's how you shut someone up. Don't get involved in the stupidness. Don't get yourself sent off. Don't get yourself booked. Don't let you take your eye off the game. You shut them up by winning the game and making them look stupid. And look, they shook hands and they had a big hug and a laugh about it afterwards, although the other guy wasn't laughing. And actually, I quite liked that fullback. I thought he was pretty good. But you've got to do these little things. And Chris Willock, Ryan Wintle, these experienced, Callum Robinson, they're the experienced players in this group. So they've got to do it. Now, we have a really tricky situation brewing on Tuesday. So for those of you who don't know, there's a certain set of rules with this EFL trophy where you have to play a certain amount of first team players. You cannot just play kids, which is probably good because we haven't got any kids to play. So the way it stands is, let me just bring up these messages because I clarified this evening with someone who would absolutely know. So the Wales under 17s, which includes Tankovic and a couple of others, they do not meet up till Friday. So that means that Rob Tankovic will be available on Tuesday. Expect him in the squad. I would expect him to get minutes, if I'm honest, which is just incredible for a 16-year-old, like younger than my lad, mate. I sat on the bench. It's just beautiful to see. I love it. Under 21s are away. So Dak Mafiko, Keane Ashford, Naya Kahawa, Louis Giles, others, they're all away. So they're unavailable. Dylan Lawler, Joel Colwell, Ronan Kipakio, unavailable with the Wales first team. Someone tell me the date of the England game, because there might actually be one other Welsh player who's unavailable from the first team as well, which I'm not going to say because I wouldn't want to speak out of turn before it's officially announced. But my point being is there's a lot of players away and a lot of younger players away who we would probably like to use that we cannot use, particularly the ones in and around the first team already. Now, me personally, I would not be wanting to play. England is the 9th, Belgium's 13th. Right. So, yeah, okay. So the thing it going is that I expect there will be some young footballers on the bench on the weekend. Very young footballers. I'm talking 16 and below. Now, that's great. I think Mafiko's with the 21s. I might be wrong on that, though. In my opinion, Kellyman's got to start. I would like to see... I just don't know if Kellyman's got 90 minutes in him. But he looks sharp on Saturday, so I would play him. I would play Kellyman from the start, give him an hour, and if he's doing good and he's all right and he's fit, I would try and get 90 minutes in his legs. I would try not to play Ruben if I can. But with the players that are away, we might have to, which is a shame because I think he could do with a rest. Joel Bagan, Louis Giles would come in, I would assume, but he's going to be away with the 21s. Does Joel Bagan play? Can we put someone else in there? It's so difficult. And I've been just looking, last couple of hours, I've been looking at my previews for Dragon Sports and for Cardiff City World. And like picking that side is going to be almost impossible. I'm going to make a list of who's available and kind of go from there. I would play Troy Perrott. I would play Spears. And just going back to the Osho thing, Corey just reminded me of something. I didn't expect, put it this way, if you'd asked me a month ago if I'd be asking my son to put Callum Chambers on, I wouldn't have been. But after they went 2-2, I turned to my son and I said, I think we're going to have to bring Callum Chambers on here, which I never would have expected me to say. Obviously, I sort of forgot about Will Fisher at that split second. But I think there'll be some youngsters in. I would love to see Matthew Apter get a go. I think he can genuinely offer something for the first team. Alex Robertson can't play because he's gone to Australia. So that's that. Like whether he would or not is another thing. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I want to talk about a game. because I don't really do the player rating videos at the moment. I'm kind of unsure. Like, I don't know, people can let me know in the comments, in the video, in the live chat, if you would like to see the player ratings videos come back. So like on a Monday. So on a Sunday, we'd have 5 things, Sunday lunchtime. And then on a Monday lunchtime, we'd have the player ratings from the game. If you guys want that video, then I'll do that video on a Monday. But I kind of, it's a lot of editing and a lot of work. And if people don't want it, and no, I'm not going to do it. But if people want it, I'll do it. It's one of them. Let's start at the back and go through the team a little bit for today. So you had Nathan Trott in goal, rubbish. Got to sell him. Absolute disgrace of a keeper. No, obviously, for me, Nathan Trott was the man of the match, to be honest with you, because without Nathan Trott, we lose that game. And we could have lost it quite embarrassingly as well, if you're being honest. Like, I think he makes 2 one-on-one saves. The save straight after they score the second goal, where our defense is absolutely all over the place. And it falls to the striker and he hits it on the volley. And it's a great one-handed save. What a save, because the pace of it as well. And to react from that close in, great save. But everything which he did, he was, when Osho made the mistake, Trott and Dylan Lawler got around him and they were speaking to him. I like that. Like, Dylan Lawler is a leader. I don't give a shit about his age. Like, he is a leader. But Nathan Trott was outstanding. I would like to see him. I don't like this thing in the first half when we should be playing at a high tempo, trying to get at Leyton Orient, get the crowd behind us and build some momentum and build some confidence. I don't like the thing of just like sitting there and with the keeper with the ball, with his foot on the ball. I get they're trying to draw in a press, but Leyton Orient weren't pressing like that. They were waiting until we got into the middle third to try and pinch it there. So it's like, you just wait, you're just slowing the game down and you're just waiting it. Just wasting time and losing momentum and tempo in the game. That's always going to suit your opposition when you're a possession-based team like us. So Nathan Trott obviously played the full game, 8 saves, conceded 3 goals, but just 19 out of 38 accurate passes. It's not that great, really, for a keeper, but I think that was partially because we went a bit longer. Is accurate long balls, 6 out of 25. But again, they're long, and they 3 diving saves, 7 saves inside the box. Came out and punched across when we were under corner, when we were under pressure. A couple of throws, 8 recoveries, 49 touches. Look, it was an excellent performance. At the end of the day, right, you could talk about stats and you could talk about passing accuracy and the rest of it. And I'm all about all that sort of stuff. It'll be interesting because I would really, really like to say what a great keeper he is. Because for me, the thing with the goalkeeper's job is to keep it out of the net. And then if he's good at passing and distributing, then that's an added bonus. Luckily, he's good at all of it. And he's the best keeper we've had since Marshall by far. Joe Bagan, a mixed one. I thought in his third on the ball, like in our third, on the ball, I thought he was quite poor, but in the final third, I thought he was pretty good attacking wise. He had 1 block shot. He had 70 touches in 3 touches in the opposition box, 11 passes in the opposition third, only the 1 accurate cross, but he had 5 out of 9 accurate long balls. And I think, he made 2 clearances, a couple of blocks, a couple of tackles. Like, defensively, he was okay. But his passing within our own third was just not good enough for the standard that he has set, because he has set his standard up here this season. He's been exquisite. Everyone can have a bad day. Give the boy a rest. Ronan Capacchio. Again, first half struggled a little bit. Not loads, but like just a little bit. Ridiculous booking. It's hit him in the stomach and the ref's giving him a yellow card. Even if it did hit his hand, didn't do it on purpose. It's from like half a yard away. How is it a yellow card? It's not. But that put him on a bit of a knife edge. And you could see there was an instance just before half time where their winger goes at him just outside the box, right up on the left wing. And he's like, he can't make a challenge because he knows he'll get booked and he'll go down. He had 29 out of 38 accurate passes, created 2 clear-cut chances. He had expected goals of 0.15 for a fullback, 7 defensive contributions. XG assists was 0.58. He had 2 out of 3 shots on target. So he had 3 shots, 2 of them on target. Don't mind that because he actually shot. 6 touches in the opposition box, 3 passes in the final third, 1 out of 2 accurate long balls. He was dispossessed 3 times, but I think all of them came in the first half, which is interesting. The second half, he was a game changer. And great recovery for him. Mental strength, loving it. Blocks, tackles, the lot. Dylan Lawler, for me, is between him, Robinson, and Trott for your man of the match. You could kind of take your pick for different reasons. He turned into a real leader. I don't want to bang on about him too much because people seem to think like he's the only player who I talk about. But look, I got another video coming out this week on him because he's that good. And I don't know what you want me to say. He is that good. The goal he scores is special. Not just because he goes from halfway line and kills it in. Like he doesn't, after he beats the 2 pressers, he actually just runs in a straight line and then curls it in. He just attacks the space as he does really well. But it just made me chuckle because the 2 Leyton Orient players, they think they've got him. They're on the halfway. He's facing his own goal. There's 2 of them on him. He's got nowhere to go but back to the keeper. And we don't really want to do that because we're trying to press for a goal. They think they've got him. Little step over, turn the other way, out with all 2 of them and drive into the space and then put it in the bottom corner. Their keeper should have done better, but we don't care about that. Just monumental stats defensively. 15 clearances, 9 headed clearances, 5 blocks, 1 last-ditch tackle, 2 other tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries, 4 out of 8 ground duels won, 2 out of 3 aerial duels won. Just a colossal performance from someone who's not even 20. Like, just unreal performance. And he was needed yesterday because he covered for Bagan and he covered for Osho at times when they did make mistakes, so they misjudged it. Not perfect, but, there was one which he kind of misjudged where he gets nudged under the ball out on the left and they create a chance from it, but he'll learn from that. And just exceptional footballer for he's such a young player. Osho, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the back pass is just a brain fart in it. His accurate pass is pretty high, 80 to 87%. He's created 2 chances. Obviously, error that led to the goal. 12 defensive contributions. 7 passes into the final third, so he's quite progressive. 2 of his 5 long balls found their mark. He had tackles, blocks, clearances, headed clearances, 6 recoveries. Didn't get dribbled past once. 1 2 out of 2 ground duels and 3 out of 3 aerial duels. But the mistakes that he did do directly led to chances, and that's a problem, isn't it? When you're a centre back, it was a poor individual showing. Let's be honest. I'm not going to go through the whole team. I just wanted to do this, but I will say, I thought Ryan Wintle was tidy again, real good. Another one though that needs a break. He needs a rest. Bagan, Wintle, Ruben. We've got to find a way to rest them. Joel Colwell, maybe the same. Like, he looked a little bit jaded. Did all right though. Won some duels. Callum Robinson, he's a funny one, right? Because I find myself sometimes really frustrated with him for some of the stuff he does off the ball or doesn't do. And because he doesn't do it, or he kind of does it, it means that other people have then got to pick up the slack to do it. But ultimately, who cares if he scores goals? And he is one. If you put him in front of a goal, he will score goals. He's flying at the moment. He's in one of his streaks, so he's got to play. International break has come at a bad time, but you got to play him at the moment. Gabriel Keita's another one. Or De Bono, a couple of centre-backs that I wouldn't mind seeing. So here's the thing on Tuesday against Newport. I would play Gabriel Osho. Get it out of his system. Like, he had a bad day. Get it out of his system as quick as possible. Because if you have a break, then that's his last memory. There's more chance that it's going to be fresh in his mind and play on his mind. Judging by how he reacted to the mistakes, I think he'll be all right anyway, but I would get him back out there and, try and get some of these youngsters in to rest. And so some of the subs, I thought David Turnbull did well off the bench yesterday. I thought Yusuf Salic was excellent. Yusuf Salic just taking the hits for his teammates. I love that. Like, I really love that. He was an absolute game changer. And I asked the question in a video lunchtime, didn't I? And I haven't read all the responses yet. I will read them. But I asked you to, if we want to play two up front, and we were going to go 4-4-2, what's the midfield pair that you go with? Because the manager, whenever he's gone 4-4-2, he's always done it with Ruben and Turnbull as the two. And I'm interested because we get overrun in midfield sometimes through physicality. So you need to, if you're going to play 4-4-2, you've got to be doing it against the right teams. You've got to do it with the right players, and you've got to find the right balance. Is the answer to that go 3-5-2? Pacquiao can play as a wing back. I think Bagan could play as a wing back. Bagan can also play as a left centre back. NG could play centre. Like, you've got a few centre back options. You can keep your midfield structure, and you can play two up front. I think I said last year, I think Keane Ashford could play as a wing back as well. I think he's got the engine to do it and whatnot. But just switching over subjects for a minute. Excuse me. And then I'll go to the comments because I've been speaking for long enough. But I said yesterday in the comments on Matt and Reese's show that I was hoping to get like some real good information on what's going on with Alex Robertson. So I'd spoken to a couple of people at the club who are there day to day, work with him day to day, and earlier this week, and they said, basically exactly what the manager said. He just wants to see more. He just wants to see more. He's not sulking. Robertson's not sulking. He hasn't kicked up a fuss. There's no like big fallout. There's no conspiracy. He just wants to see more, and he wants to see more. So I've spoken to someone who's like very close to Alex. It's as close as you probably get into to speaking to the man himself, and like said exactly the same thing. Now, what I do know is in the summer, Alex had indicated to the club, and I think I've talked about this before. Alex had indicated to the club that he would like to play at championship level, or like he didn't really want to drop down to League One or whatever. If an offer came in, would he be able to go? But it wasn't like a big fallout. It was just an indication and so on. That didn't materialize because teams didn't want to pay the money or whatever. Actually, if you listen to what the hierarchy said and what I had said all summer, is that no one was for sale outside of the players who they released. No one was for sale. Salic, Ruben, whoever, no one was for sale categorically, including Alex Robertson. But anyway, obviously he takes that horrible tackle in pre-season, absolute disgusting challenge, which there was no need for. And I really waylaid it because he's out then for the start of the season. And I should also add that when Brian Barry Murphy came in, Alex was happier to stay because he's got a previous working relationship with Brian. He knows what he's about. He knows the way he wants to play football. So I think, when the move didn't materialize, it was not like Alex was going to sulk or kick up a fuss. It was like, right, I'm here, let's go, let's play, let's get fit and let's start. He is not the sort of character to be a problem. He's not the sort of character to have an issue, to down tools, to cause an issue in the group, whatever you want to say. He's played at this level before. He's had a decent season. And when you actually look at him statistically, individually last season, he had a very good season. But I thought he was really good, particularly pre-injury. He's got fit. He's been back training with the first team for the last couple of weeks. No problems. He's been working hard, but the manager wants to see more. The manager's told the player this. The manager's told the media this. Everybody else is saying the same thing. Everybody's saying the same thing. He's fit. He's ready. But the manager wants to see a little bit more from him to get him in there. Now, And I want to separate this from everything which I just said. This is my opinion. What I'm going to say next, not anything else. My opinion is it doesn't make a lot of sense why he hasn't been integrated back in. Okay, we know he can play this level. We know he's a good footballer. We know he can play the way the manager wants. We know the manager rates him because he's talked about how highly he rates him and how well he played for him as a number 6. So it doesn't make sense. So then you have to look at, right, what could the reasons be to why he hasn't integrated him back into the side? So these are my opinions, guesses, whatever it may be, of the 3 reasons, okay? 1, and I think this is unlikely, but I will give you the option as to what I think it may be. 1, is this something which has come from above the manager for whatever reason? However, to me, that doesn't stack up and it doesn't make sense because all you're doing is harming the team and you're harming the player's value if you don't play him. So if he doesn't play a game of football till January, we're not going to sell him for more than what we could have sold him for in the summer. So it's a waste of time and pointless. And knowing this board and what they're about with money, I just don't see that as viable. It doesn't make any sense. 2 is he's had a bad attitude and he's moping around and he's bad for the group. Everybody who I've spoken to at that football club who works with him day in, day out, and I've spoken to 4 or 5 people who work with him on a daily basis, say that's not the case. He is a good lad. He's a good egg. He works hard and he's a very good footballer. So he's not a disruption. And the manager said the same thing. He's not a disruption. So the third option would be that the manager, and there's 2 sides to this, I guess. So there's 2 things, right? The manager is trying to make a point. You asked to leave in the summer, so I'm going to make you really, 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 really fucking earn it if you're going to be back in this team. You have to want to be a part of this group kind of thing, and really like that side of him. Again, I don't think that makes sense because he's not the only person who has to leave who's still at the football club. Okay? So it doesn't really make sense that. The flip side of that is, and maybe in a month or 2, we will be saying, what a fucking masterstroke by Brian Barry Murphy. Literal, beautiful man management. And this is the one I kind of line up to, only because everybody who I speak to is saying the same thing. People close to Alex are saying the same thing. So everybody is saying the same thing. The manager is saying the same thing to the player. The coaches are saying the same thing. The people at the club are saying the same thing. The manager's saying it to the press, and people close to Alex are all saying the same thing. He's fit, he's ready, but the manager wants to see more from him. Now, all Alex Robertson can do is work hard every day, train hard every day, go out with Australia, hopefully get some game time, and put in impressive performances. Make himself undeniable. That's all he can do. If after the international break, the manager integrates him back in, do we think Alex Robertson is going to be hungry and want to prove a point? Like he's going to be desperate to prove, no, I should have been playing for the last month or 2. Or is he going to go in and is he going to sulk and is he going to be like he's not, is he? Because he's finally getting his opportunity. A fully fit Alex Robertson in this Brian Barry Murphy side with these young players will be like a new signing. Now, I don't know for sure if that is the reason. That's the one thing I don't know is I don't know Brian Barry Murphy's reason why he's not picking Alex Robertson at the moment. I can only tell you what I've told you just now and what I've heard from multiple sources, and I will absolutely take to the bank every single one of them. Every single one of them. These aren't sources where, like, oh, it's this man told this man and this man. These are people who work there day in, day out. These are people close to Alex Robertson. Alex Robertson is anything from a bad egg. He is not the type of person to kick up a fuss and to cause a problem in the group. He's got an oxygen chamber at his house. He's got a gym at his house. He works hard. He does all the right things. He eats clean, all the rest of it, right? So the only thing I could think is that this is a managerial thing to get the best out of Alex Robertson for Cardiff City. It's the only thing which makes sense. And if it works, fair play. If it doesn't, and what did I say about Craig Bellamy and not selecting Ruben Colwell? Ultimately, the manager lives by who he selects and who he doesn't. If it works, he's a hero. If he doesn't, then questions will be asked. And look, I'm not going to lie, like it's odd. We had a 16-year-old on the bench, and don't get me wrong, Tankovic is a player. He is young, but he is a baller. And he's not the only one, by the way, in this football club. At that age, he was very, very good. But it is weird, isn't it, to be picking a 16-year-old lad over someone who's kind of proven at this level and has already worked with the manager and his foot. It's just strange. And, you know, after losing to Bradford and Burton, it felt like we could do with like a bit of a freshen up, you know? So I just wonder whether, you know, after this international break now, whether we might see him back integrated, because it's one thing when you get something from someone, you know, close to a player or close to the club or direct from the club or whatever, right? It's one thing when you get something from a really, really good source. But when you get something from 3 or 4 or 5 good sources, like top tier, like in it sources, and they all say exactly the same thing, but in different words, that's what's happening, right? You just got to accept it. That's what's happening. Now, I don't know the reasons for it's happening, but it'll be interesting. Now, Reece just made a really good point. Could Alex have turned down the opportunity to play for Australia this week and play on Tuesday night? Would have been a good opportunity with players away and the rest of it. I would never begrudge anyone wanting to play for their country, even the young lads who are playing for the 17s, the 18s, or whatever, the 21s. Like, I think representing your country is the highest honor, no matter what age you are and what level is at. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that international breaks are in the season anyway. And like that first international break absolutely killed our momentum, whilst the other teams were able to gain a bit of momentum. And then this one again, like I think in many ways, this one's come around a little bit at a better time because we were all over the shop defensively yesterday. But equally, it is unfair that we can't just play the team that we would like to play. Whatever that team is on Tuesday, we're not going to be able to just pick the team we want, isn't it? So like we should be able to. But, you know, Newport should be tasty. Like you ain't getting any more local than Newport versus Cardiff, let me tell you. I work in, I did a radio show in Newport, like, and yeah, it's going to be a fascinating week. Right, let's go and see the comments. Let me know what you think of all that. Let me know what you think of everything else. I just spoke for 44 minutes non-stop without taking a breath. Unbelievable. When you're playing Corey, come on, man. I wasn't that late. Technical issues as well as my computer's slow. Come on, man. Harsh. Wasn't like it was like 2 minutes late. Shivalowski, aye. Gavin, Martin, no neutrals. Ellis Edit says, how you Blues doing? 3 points, my friends, and that's all that matters. Corey says, what a win yesterday, and a win. If it wasn't for their keeper, no way Lawler would have scored. He done so well. It's a great finish. But yeah, their keeper, it's a funny one. I was speaking to a Leyton Orient fan last night, and that Leyton Orient keeper he's young, like really young, and he's done some real good stuff for him recently, but he's also let in some goals that he should have stopped. Did they lose? They lost 4-3 the game before, didn't they, as well? So it's a difficult one because young keepers, isn't it? But Gang One says, mad Everton fan, Cardiff next. Good for both. Sorry, boys. Up the toffees. Okay. Thanks. Reese says, problem is we gifted those goals, and if we didn't do that, then we'd come away saying they did nothing with it. It's wild. Yeah, 100%, mate. We gifted them. The only goal, I guess you could say we didn't gift them is the third. But even that, I think we should have got out quicker and closed it down quicker. Because I think if you get out quicker, I think it's Bagan, but whoever like gets out quicker, like sprints out to him, he hasn't got time to just set himself and get his balance right. And the way he sets out the shot. Look, he might have just curled it around the defender and it would have been a great goal either way. But fucking put him under pressure, innit? Like, don't give anything easy. G-Ballers, evening, my friend, says, absolutely. I come out thinking, wow, what a game that was. My lad was absolutely beaming. I had to pick him up off the ceiling. And in 90 minutes, I see more action than I've seen in the previous 4 or 5 years. It was great. And yeah, and do you know what, right? Corey says these kids have some passion. The other thing is as well is, and I've said this before about the Port Vale game, the Bradford game, these young players will learn so much from these games as they're going through the season. So look, for that one, I thought yesterday was a real high pressure game for them on the back of 2 losses. They were nervy and all the rest of it. So then to be able to just force a win after a difficult situation is another learning curve for them. And, you know, at the end of the season, one way or another, we are going to proper have some high pressure games, one way or the other. So these players got to like find a way to deal with the pressure, these young footballers. And I'm all about it. And this is why as well, I would like to see the likes of Matthew Apter, Troy Perrett, Tankovic get some game time now in the EFL Trophy on Tuesday, because we might need them later in the season. We really might. And yeah. Corey injured his ankle celebrating. G Baller says, I'm by no means the oldest supporter, but my first season was 1990, so I've been seeing the good, the bad, the ups and downs. And I'm just enjoying it with the young players who care. Just be patient and supportive. Yeah, I think that's the way I feel, mate, in a large degree. It can be frustrating, you know, when you see sloppy passes and stuff. Yesterday was frustrating. Yesterday was the first time I got really frustrated during a game this season, to the point where, like, I felt myself getting, like, moany. Whereas before I've been like, you know, they're young. They'll get it. The manager's good. He'll correct it. And I thought the manager, again, by the way, showed real tactical adaptability with the way he went and won that game. Like, he showed he'll go 3 at the back, he'll go 4-4-2, whatever the game needs. His game plan yesterday was to go more direct and play in their final third, or in the final third. Like, that's tactical ability. Talk about adaptability. He's got a philosophy, right? He wants to play pass and move football, high pressing, possession football. That's how he likes to play football. But not for the he won't sacrifice points for it. And I like that. And he learned from the Burton game to a certain extent. Although I think the tempo was still slow in the first half yesterday. But, you know, pressure. Graham says, my father took me, I took my 2 sons, and now 3 of my grandkids. Strange feeling when they sent me the photo of them in the canton. Oh, mate, I love it. I love that. Absolutely love it. Corey says, we had the same with Risa and Bullock, kept changing at the back every game. Doesn't always do it, but too much for my liking. I just felt like there wasn't a need to change it in the league. Like, just, we could have kept going with Fish and Lawler, and then give Chambers and Osho some minutes in the cup games. And then when you need them, they're ready, you know? But hey, look, I'm not by, who am I to question Brian Barry Murphy, mate? This at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, Kumas the Blaster, easy for me to say, says he's great at carrying the ball out. He just needs to stop clanging. Yeah, I think as well, you got to remember that he was very, very good in the previous game. He just had an off day, didn't he? Just got caught and bad pass. And I just, you know, when you could see like a back pass come in and you could see the defender's going to do it and you're like, don't do it. And he does it and you could see the striker there and it's like slow motion. And there was just nothing on the pass either. It was just like he passed it to the striker. And yeah, just not good at the end of the day. Anna, welcome. How are you? Hope you're okay. Says, come on, the Bluebirds, City till I die. Damn straight. Reese says, Willock, most improved player for me. Difference last season is night and day. Actually trying to beat his man, playing some lovely balls in. Yeah, I thought he was good. He does frustrate me at times with his defending a little bit. Not all the time. Certainly, when he's on my side of the pitch, where the dugout is, he works a bit harder defensively. I will say that. But I like him. I've been impressed with him generally. Showing a bit of flair, and yeah, you're right there. Willock, Kumasta Blaster. Willock showed a bit of flair this season. Non-existent last season. Exciting when he's confident. Confidence, isn't it? Get these players confident. Yeah, Davis had a bit of a difficult game, but I think we didn't play to his strengths. Like, it was 2 or 3 times, right? Isaac was just in. We just needed to play one ball, and we just went short, or we went the other way, and you could see like he was like frustrated because he was just in, and he had the whole pitch in front of him. And I mean, one thing we will have to do is, if we approach a game like, say, the Burton game, and we was to go 4-4-2 with the 2 Salich and Robertson up front, I think you've got to keep Isaac and Kellyman on the bench then, so you have some forward options to come on, because you do need bench options to change the game if it doesn't work or it's a tight game. Mine says, likewise, Bagan has been one of my favourites this season. Willock in front of him offers a lot going forward, but doesn't offer nowhere near as much as what Kean does defensively, and that probably impacted Bagan yesterday. Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I think that's a very fair analysis of it. Kean does a lot going backwards, doesn't he? Sue says, I enjoyed it in a strange way. It's easy to say now after 3 points. The nervous energy was intense, and I think from the off they were nervy not to lose again, but they came through. Yeah, and that's what it's about. And the weather didn't help us, Graham says there. Matthew Angel in the house. Yeah, there's a few of them I just think need a rest, like. But so 4 players who started the previous league game or will start the next league game. In that 4, you can include 1 academy loan player. So Kellyman counts as an academy loan player, doesn't he? I mean, so who could you start? Osho, Robinson. I really don't want to start Ruben, but Joel's not there. You could go Willock, Wintle, and I would like to rest Wintle though. I don't know. I'm gonna have to have a real good look at it. I would start Kellyman. Mafiko's with the 21s, yeah. Right, let's have a look. Matthew Apt is one I would like to see, but I think depending on if we're going to start with Tankovic or not, may depend on who plays in midfield. Like, it'd be madness, wouldn't it, if you started like a Tankovic and Matthew Apter making his debut as well, or like Troy Perrott or someone like that. I think you've got to give him a bit of experience with him, haven't you? Luke Armstrong, Mafiko, Ashford, Giles, Nayakawa, all in the under 21s. So they'll all be unavailable. Yeah, Keita is Gabriel Keita is a real good player. I like him a lot. Him and De Bono at the back for the under 21s have been really good. Corey says, I watched the Cardiff and Bristol under 21 game, and Keita was great at the back. He's massive. Got a goal too. Yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he? He's a big old boy. Angel says, this is his side for Tuesday to go. Turner. Well, you can't play Capaccio because he's with Wales. Osho, Chambers, Giles, can't play him because he's with Wales. Kellyman, Turnbull, Ruben, Willock, Salich, Robbo. That's strong, mate, but you can't play 2 of them. Sorry. Not my fault, mate. Corey says, for Newport, I'd like to see how Salich and Robertson play together for maybe an hour. Put Troy Perrott on the bench if he ain't on the bench. Isaac Davis can... Isaac, yeah. What else we got? Corey says, Turner, Chambers, Osho, Keita, Giles. Giles can't play. 16-year-old Tankovic, Turnbull, Kellyman, Willock, Salis, Robbo. Yeah, you just got. I think the main ones which we got to rest, for me at least, is Ruben, Bagan, and Wintle. They really need to have a rest. But I think Ruben might play because of just the players missing. Jonathan says, I don't think BBM is intentionally freezing out Robertson. He was included in the team photo. Alnwick on the other hand. Yeah, there's stuff going on with Jack Alnwick and that, but it is what it is. Corey says, Turner, Chambers, Osho, Keita, Giles, can't play Giles, Tankovic, Turbo. We just read that, didn't we? You just added Tankovic by name. Right, let's have a go on. So he's in Australia. Let's have a look. Right. Last couple of questions before we wrap up. What we got? A few people talking about. Alex Robertson had all sorts of international nationalities that he could play for, but he obviously changed to. I was 3-2 the game before. Was a 3-2 to Stevenage? I couldn't remember if it was 4-3 or 3-2. Thank you very much. Yeah, and this is what I would like to finish on, actually, was I encouraged patience with Amari Kellyman a couple of weeks ago because people were like, oh, I saw a few comments like, oh, what have we signed? He doesn't look very good, blah, blah, blah. But for me, there's no doubt in his quality. Like anyone who's seen him play or highlights of him, he's a fucking quality player. But he hasn't played for like a year. He's way off fitness. He's way off match sharpness, and he needs time. And I even speculated it might take till Christmas time to get him right up to speed. But look, right, be patient with him. And by all accounts, the boy is training his absolute balls off, and he is a real nice lad, really humble, and a really good egg. And he's working hard to get up to speed. And I thought he changed the game for us yesterday. He was direct, he was skillful. And his ability, once he done that little Cruyff turn as a first touch, that fullback didn't go tight to him once, which meant he got a ball, he drove at the fullback was holding, and then Kepakia would just zip in behind, and then his way to pass. It's set pieces, though, mate. Like when their keeper started wasting time or whatever he was doing, if he had cramp or whatever, I said to my son, we've got to drop this corner right under the bar and put him under pressure. And he just whipped it in under the bar. And then we get another corner. And he whips it in again. And I think Salic hits the post at the back post. I thought it had been cleared up a line in real time. But, Fish should be about Saturday, I believe. But, Kellyman and Kepakia was really encouraging their chemistry. And we got a few little combinations going with those fullbacks and wingers. Ashford and Kepakia work together well. Ashford and Bagan work together well. Willock and Bagan got it going towards the end as well. Tanner's pretty good with Bagan and Kepakia and NG. Like we got some good chemistry in it. Chemistry. Yeah, look, some of these teams who are at the top of League One have. They haven't played any of what you'd perceive to be the bigger boys or the bigger teams or the harder games. So the league will take shape around Christmas like it always does. Macanish says, when will Newport sack their manager? They're bottom of League Two. What I will say, mate, is I was speaking to someone who knows the manager very, very well. And he said that, look, it's a results business at the end of the day, right? It just is. Like, it's results, isn't it? But he said, it is a bit deceptive because they haven't been as bad as their results suggest. And they will be full out of beans tomorrow. They will be at it on Tuesday and they will want to beat us. So we have to be wary just because they're bottom of League Two. It's a free hit for them. And, of course we should win. But they haven't won a game since August. But just be aware, like, they'll be up for it. You've got a couple of ex-Cardiff players in there. So it's one of them, isn't it? Forest sacking Nuno. Can you imagine? Sacking Nuno and bringing in Ange. Wow. Yeah, Reindorf won't be able to play. So Sue says Turner, Osho, Turner, Spears, Osho. No, Steve. So Corey, just on that. He says, "Si, do you think Stevenage will be a threat even when they play the big teams?" I do think they'll be a threat. I think they'll be up there, and I think they've built enough confidence now and enough security in terms of the way they play. They'll understand it. They'll know, and they'll be confident in it. I'm not sure they'll be up in the top two come the end of the season. If I'm honest, I don't know if they will, but I think they'll be there or thereabouts for the playoffs because from what I've seen, I think they've been pretty good. Not top of the league good, but I think they've been good. But the league table don't lie. Okay, you've got to get the points on the board at the end of the day. Jonathan Mordecai says Turner, Spears, Kingdon, Chambers, Bagan, Osho, Turnbull, Kellyman, Barton, Salich, Davis. I don't hate that team. Osho in the 6, I like. People were not having that on Twitter the other day. I do love it. Corey said, I can see Kellyman scoring directly from a corner as he keeps it. Hitting it over the keeper. Defenders are always there. Yeah, he whips it in, mate, doesn't he? I would love to see him get like a proper start and let him get at Newport on Tuesday. Really see what he's about, like. But remains to be seen. They'll look after him as well, just like they've done with Isaac. They'll watch it and they'll see. They'll see how it goes, like. But here we go. Right. Last minute, and then I'm off ski. Got to go pick my son up. So get some. Okay, yeah, any questions in? So tomorrow we'll have a video lunchtime. I'll film that at the radio station in the morning. If you're about in the morning, Newport City Radio. It's on digital, on TuneIn app. It's whenever on your radio. 11 o'clock, Newport City Radio. In the morning with Si. Play some good music. We'll play Guest of the Year. Start the week off right, innit? We'll have Si's anthem as well to start the week. Get involved in it. There's like a WhatsApp for the show and you can get involved. I see some regular faces in there from the shows or from CardiffCityWorld. So, yeah, get involved in it. Yeah, there'll be a video out then tomorrow night, Cardiff City Phone In and the members show with who's doing the members show tomorrow? Rob and Reese, I think it is. We'll have post-match show Tuesday night. We've got previews of the game. Tuesday, we'll have match day content. Constant 7 days a week Cardiff City content. If you're not a member, please do become a member because, of course, that's what allows us to do 7 days a week content. I'm hoping that I got a couple of interviews this week as well, some interesting ones. So it'll be interesting. I've one of them is with a sporting director of another club, obviously because we don't have a sporting director or a director of football, whatever they're called. One of them is with a former Cardiff City player, and one of them is with a former Wales international who I've never interviewed before, and I'm quite looking forward to. Working on a couple of interesting live events. Might have a change of plans for December, and might be an interesting one. Sometimes, Dylan Lawler, right? He reminds me of a certain skinny defender back in the day. Used to play alongside Ginge. Like the way he plays and the way he just so confident on the ball. It just pops it about. Like Dylan Lawler is a special footballer. And yeah, we just got to bear with this. It's a young team. Do you think if the manager reintegrates Robertson after the international break, which I think is coming one way or another, do you think he adds a little bit of experience because he's played men's football? He's played League One and Championship for the last couple of years. So he's a bit more experienced. He's obviously trained at come through the Man City Academy as well. He knows the manager. Do you think he adds a little bit of security from a experience point of view? Although, what was I saying to you the other day? Sometimes it feels like the more experienced players struggle a bit more. But I think like Callum Robinson scoring goals. That's why I'd play him on Tuesday. Like, let him get another one. Just let him keep scoring. Ryan Winter's our oldest player at 29. That is mental. Jonathan says, the former Wales international side is trying to get for the next meet and greet is Ashley Williams just for shit. Do you know what, mate? Right. I would love to interview him. I know someone who has done some work with him and knows him, and he's supposed to be a top bloke. Like, I would never have interviewed him years ago, but he's like, there's enough of a gap now in it. 2016 Welshman. I don't count him as a Jack anymore. But no, it's not him. Not him. I don't think he's got any links to Swansea at all. It's a player that we missed out on from an academy point of view back in the day. Not that one. I'd play Spears right back. There's some left backs there. Is it Beecher? Martin will tell me. Is it Beecher, the left back? The youngster? You know, they'll find a way, innit? They'll find someone. Oh, yeah. I mean, Alnwick is our oldest player, technically, but Bagan's our longest serving player, 23 years old. Will Ramsey's record be broken if Tankovic plays on Tuesday? I will pass you over to the Right Honourable Martin, who will tell you that, because how can I word this? I expect Robert Tankovic to play a part on Tuesday. I expect him to get some minutes. I have no idea if he'll start or if he'll be on the bench. I expect him to play. I think that's why he was in the squad on Saturday, to get him used to it and let him know what it's like on a match day, because he's fucking 16. He might not be the only under 18 in the squad, is what I would say. 2 people have told me that now. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll see. Remember, let me know in the comments after this video if you'd like to see the player rating videos return. I'm happy to bring them back. We got previews, we got reviews, we got post-match show Tuesday night. I think me and Aaron, I think it's me and Aaron Thursday, me and Matt Wednesday. Like, there's people all over the way. So got a lot of content coming this week. But yeah, we'll see. Like, there's I wouldn't be shocked if we just played the first team on Tuesday. Like, whatever first teamers are available, that's just the squad plus Tankovic. But I wouldn't be shocked if there was like Spears and a load of other youngsters. I would really like to see Matthew Apter in there. If I could pick one player outside of the young lad, Tankovic, I'd really like it to be Apter, because I think Apter can contribute to the first team this year. Just from what I've seen of him in the 21s, but I wouldn't be against seeing De Bono or Cater either, because I like by the way they play. Manny Barton the same, but we'll just see. I don't think they'll all play, because you've got to play a certain amount of youngsters and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. It's all good. Take it easy, and we shall see what happens. I'll be back in the morning, and if you're about, please do tune in to Newport City Radio. Until then, I bid you farewell. Have a good one. This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/Ace Podcast Nation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards, from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the Spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans, for fans, balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.